Just gonna do a little messing around. I doubt I'll get any bites. It's in the middle of the night. I'm just a little stressed out. I'm a little stressed out. What does that mean, unsupported resolution? Does that mean that it goes back and forth? I don't get it. Yeah, a little stressed out. Yeah. I just think I had a lot of stuff that has been coming for a long time that I hadn't really prepared for properly, and I didn't realize I wasn't preparing for it properly until like today. I didn't realize how much I hadn't prepared for this thing that's coming up until today, and it's stressful. And I don't have a lot of gigs this week. I'm actually off Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and that is a lot of time sitting around being stressed out a little bit. So I'm trying to counter that the best I can. Procrastination's a bitch, but it's, don't everybody do it? Now I'm just rage Pink Floyd thumping here. Yeah, why do I procrastinate so bad? I'm just so bad at it. Like even with cleaning my house, like I talk about cleaning the house all the time, but I never do it like in its full entirety. Like I'll do one thing, like I'll do just floors, or I'll do just counters, or I'll do just the stove, or just the refrigerator, or just the bathroom, or just the front walkway, and I never do it all at once. And it would take me no more than an hour. If I really got down to it, like it would take me no more than maybe an hour and a half if I just really just wanted to bear down. But I'll do 20 minutes worth of shit and then just get in a nice little momentum, like get a nice little bit of momentum going, and then just stop. I'm such a procrastinator. Put everything off until the absolute last minute. And I don't realize that doesn't work in every aspect of life. I'm very much a wing it person. You can even tell in the way I play guitar. I never plan on where I'm going to go. I just kind of go, and sometimes it doesn't work. Like sometimes it doesn't fall my way, and I'll just tell Adam, like if I'm playing leads and it's a cornbread gig, and I'll nod to him. He'll be like, "You take it." And sometimes I'll take it, but every now and again, I'm just like, "I'm not feeling it today. It's not my day. I'm not playing good leads today." But I always just wing it. That's how I am. I do that in every aspect of my life. I'm just a wing it kind of person. I'm glad that everybody allows me to be that. But I don't know why I don't play guitar more at home, just leisurely. I was just sitting down here while I go hold my guitar thinking, like, I know there's songs that I need to record and I'm behind on, but I'm putting off because my voice isn't right now. And I'm already too far into the season to... if I record anything right now, it's going to come out like Tom Waits. Just to hit some of the notes I got to hit just gets me that heart attack and vine, like the louder I get. And just sounding more like Pharrell on the bench, not the Pharrell, not like a... Not like the rapper Pharrell, or the musician Pharrell, rather. I'm just going to do some noodling around. that sleep, Dustin. Just stressed out, man. Just stressed. Just like, just got a lot of big things coming up, and I just got a lot of big things coming up, and I get a little stressed out and a little strange whenever I have important things coming up. So yeah, I was holding the guitar sitting here, and I was just, I don't know, just I don't know why I need to feel like I'm being watched, or need to feel like I'm being recorded or documented or something like that. But I just feel that need, and I talk to Jamie Deluxe about it all the time. Just like me and him both need this like interaction. So. What's up, Tasha? Happy belated Easter. How do you not have a wrench in here? Let's fix that. Happy belated Easter. Happy belated 420. Happy belated everything. No, and I'm just like, like I said, I'm just all of these things. I'm extra stressed out just because I know that I'm a product of my own actions here. You know, I know that I'm at fault for something that could potentially make people react negatively, and that is just my biggest fear, is having people react negatively towards me. And I do such a good job of staying middle of the road in this podcast and not really putting up a lot of big opinions on big things like that. So I try to not piss as many people off as I can, and if I say something that I think might piss somebody off, I apologize for it before I say it. You guys are my witness to that. But I just feel like there might be a situation where I might upset somebody in the future, that something that can't be undone, and I'm not really seeing much of a way out of it. And plus, I kind of just wanted to play guitar in front of some people. I've been kind of lax about doing these things because I've been so busy lately, and I've just been a little stressed and a little, like, not... I've been falling into a weird depression in a weird time of year, like feelings are a bitch, right, Tasha? But yeah, just like getting in a weird place. I usually feel this way in the wintertime. Like I usually like get that seasonal wintertime depression. But I'm just not necessarily, and it's not really depression because it doesn't feel like the depression usually feels. It just kind of feels like it's just stress. Maybe I have a hard time because a lot of my depression was stemmed from stress. Maybe I have a hard time discerning between the two. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe so. And I do feel like maybe people our age do have a little bit more of that than normal people, just because we're stuck between two different worlds. We are in the pre-internet world and the post-internet world, and the pre is so much different than the post. Anxiety mixed with a little depression. Maybe so. Yeah, that's probably what it is. It's just anxiety, just stress. I just feel like it's like I say it all the time. I use this as an analogy. Like we were gifted the internet. Like we learned how to do shit. When I was in kindergarten, I went to kindergarten at St. Paul's Kindergarten in Bennettsville, South Carolina, and we used to walk single file once a week down the road, through town. Like 5-year-olds would walk through town in the middle of everybody, like crossing the streets, and walk to the library in Bennettsville. And I was thinking the other day, like, are kids gonna be able to do that? I don't know if anybody in here has kids or can confirm if that's a possibility. But just like, can 5-year-olds in a group be led down the street now, like to walk about a quarter of a mile to get to the library? Do you think that kind of thing would be allowed today, or if it would be possible, or if people would just be so worried that something was going to be going wrong? Like when I was in kindergarten, we would walk to the library. We got our Bible verse of the day. Let's see what it says. They shall come and proclaim his righteousness to a people yet unborn, that he has done it. Psalms 22:31. That is a premonition there from the psalmist David. But yeah, I don't know where you are, Tasha, but in South Carolina here, that was a thing we did. We would walk to the library, and the point I was making by walking to the library is that we'd walk to the library and learn how to use the Dewey Decimal System to look up books and things like that. And we learned how to actually use. The first computer I used was just to check books out of the library. And it was like we learned how to use the Dewey Decimal System on the computer. And then we were gifted the internet, which is basically all of the world's information compiled into one place. I learned how to play guitar on the internet. West by God. I had a roommate from Wheeling for a while. Almost heaven, West Virginia. They say that the capital of West Virginia is Myrtle Beach. A lot of folks say that. A lot of West Virginians here in Myrtle Beach. I don't know if you ever spent any time in Myrtle Beach. A lot of West Virginians here. But yeah, it was. We were gifted the internet. We were taught how to use the internet to obtain information, and then we were gifted the internet, and all of the information that has ever been known in the world was available at our fingertips then. And now I feel like people just coming into the world, they feel like they don't have to learn anything because they have the internet. Because like, I don't have to learn how to do this because I've got the internet. I don't really need to store this information because I will always have it here. Yeah, exactly, Tasha. Guaranteed. That's what a lot of people down here say, and I stole that from West Virginia, so I feel like I can say that without sounding a certain way. But yeah, I learned how to play guitar on the internet. Without the internet, I would not be where I am now. Like, I remember the day that I was looking on the internet for chords, and for about the first year or so, I have a really good memory. So I could remember a song. I remember even at a young age, I could think about a song and I could hear it in my head playing as if it were on the radio. Like, I hear all the parts in it and stuff like that. And I thought that was pretty cool. So just having a memory like that and being able to put it to work in music was really, really cool. Like, learning how to use the tools that you've got and just using the internet to find the chords to these songs that I had in my head already. Like, I knew what they were supposed to sound like. So I just did that, and I finally just got going through and found tabs, learning how to play with tabs on ultimateguitar.com and figuring out how to put my fingers in certain places and then playing leads to particular songs that I knew. Like, when I was a kid, Stairway to Heaven was the one thing that I wanted. I was like, if I ever learn how to play, first off, it was if I ever learn how to play Hotel California, I'll just quit, because then I'll be a good guitar player. And then how to use an iPad. Wow, really? That's crazy, Tasha. Tasha's 3-year-old granddaughter knows how to use an iPad and has since she was 10 months old. See, that's crazy. I guess people are coming into the world much more intelligent. And I'm hoping that a lot of people in the world will just like not abandon knowledge because you have all of knowledge at your fingertips. I hear about this Neuralink thing and this thing that they can actually, like a crown basically that you can put on that just has all of the world's knowledge and information in it, and just that all of the information will just be in your head then. So then there'll be no need for furthering education. And I personally don't believe in I'm trying to get a burp out. There's something in the way. But I personally don't agree with the whole college situation the way that it is, just because it's the system that's going on right now has got it to where it's so expensive to go. And it's the risk reward is too low. Like, you risk, no matter what, you risk coming out with X amount of debt, X amount of student loan debt. And the reward is not very high, considering the fact that I don't know what percentage of people that come out of college go on to make money in the field in which they went to college for. But yeah, I feel that a little bit. I feel that a little bit too, Tasha. Just having knowledge, but I feel like I do lack socially a bit. I mean, I'm really good with people. Like, I'm really, really good with people. I'm just like this whenever I meet somebody out in public. But just inside, I'm literally after any conversation that lasts longer than a couple of minutes for me outside of the house, I'm literally just thinking, oh man, I really just wish I were home now. And it's nothing against who I'm talking to or what the quality of conversation is. I just, after a certain point, I'm like, hey, I just really, really want to be home right now. And I'm crippled by that, man. It's crippling. It's like, to explain it to somebody that does not have that, hashtag me too, that's right. To explain that kind of thing to somebody that doesn't have it makes them think you're a crazy person, because I've explained it to people who enjoy being out amongst people and in the world and being seen and talked to and stuff like that. And that's just, I'm just not into that, man. I would rather be home. I I would rather be by myself, and not to be weird, but I just prefer that. And when I explain this to people, they think I'm crazy, and they think something's wrong with me. And I feel the same way. I think something's wrong with them just because they don't. I think something's wrong with them because they don't see things the way that I do. And I guess that's going back to the thing I said in the podcast earlier today. And this isn't a podcast, by the way. This is just I'm stressed out and needed to talk. And it's just, shit, where was I? I'm stressed out and needed to talk. Reverse. Oh yeah. People look at me like I'm crazy because I want to stay home all the time. But that's where I am. Yeah, I guess it is. I don't know, maybe or maybe not, because I'm only 32, but I was raised by my grandparents, and they were like Depression era, grew up during the World War II, and my granddad fought in the Korean War, and my grandmother was a city cop in Bennettsville. So I mean, I grew up with a pretty solid background in like military, and my grandmother being a cop, and I don't know. They raised me different. It's. I feel like I tell everybody at gigs all the time that I have a leg up on most other people in my generation, my personal generation. Like I don't even know what my generation would be considered, because I don't feel like we're millennials. I feel like there is a pre 9/11 and a post 9/11 generation. I believe there's a huge difference. Happy birthday to you, Tasha. I believe there's a huge difference in people who were born, or actually not even born, but just knowledgeable at the time. Like, I mean, even young kids who were alive during 9/11 could probably remember the adults around them acting strange on that one day. Like, I mean, I'm sure that they can tie a memory back to that. But seriously, just thinking about, I was a freshman in high school, and I remember this guy walked into our homeroom classroom early that morning and said they just bombed the Pentagon. And just remembering, like, and then they came across the intercom at school and said, we're sending you all home. And just knowing that, okay, this something's different, like something's strange. And then like everything was different after that. Everything had changed. I had just started playing guitar, and I just started playing guitar right before then. I had this guitar with a 2001 sticker that had the American flag behind it. And I just remember that. And I'm pretty sure I had this before 9/11. Might have been after. But I just remember I think the world is just different. There's a post 9/11 and a pre 9/11. I 100% think that's what, me personally, Tasha, I think that's exactly what happened. I think that's exactly what happened. And I don't want to get into the whole Building 7 stuff. I don't want to get into any of the conspiratorial sides of it. But if you look at the videos, and after all these years, like, for instance, I was watching a live video the other day of Notre Dame burned down, and I saw the one tower in the middle as it started to fall, and it fell. This tiny tower fell like something would fall, like a human would fall, like a tall person would fall. Like, a tall person doesn't fall straight down, and crumple like a balloon like the buildings did. That's just not how things fall. And I think that just because they fell the way that they fell, it just doesn't look like it feels like, I don't know, just something didn't seem right about that situation. And I was just young enough and just personable enough and had the internet was new, then. Like it had not long before 2001, people didn't have, like, everybody didn't have internet back then. Not where I was from. Like in Bennettsville, South Carolina, and I was actually living in Latta, South Carolina at this time, with my mom and stepdad. Maybe bombed or maybe demoed. I don't know. I just know that it's odd that you look back and there were a lot of people off work that day, and there was, like, the buildings were I don't know. It's just, I know a lot of people lost their lives that day, and I don't want to get into that whole thing. It seemed strange to me, and it seemed very similar to the Las Vegas shootings. It's just, I'm not denying the fact that a lot of people lost their lives, and it was a horrible tragedy in this country's history. But I don't think we were being told the whole truth on how it went down, or I just don't think we got all the information. But that being said, just, it's a different world. I remember people growing up into the world, people growing up inside of a world that happened after 9/11. So now everybody's a little skittish, everybody's a little terrified, so anything can go wrong at any time. And it's terrifying. It's scary. I remember thinking, like, being fearful, like, thinking, is America under attack? Like, is this really happening? Like, as the story, it was absolutely a tragedy. Yeah, I agree, Tasha. It's a lot of question marks there. But I just remember feeling as a kid, I was freshman in high school, I was 13 or 14. Yeah, 13 or 14. And just remember thinking, like, is America under attack? Like, is this how it's going to be? And you think about seeing those post-apocalyptic movies. Like, I remember, I don't know why, I was just, my favorite movie as a kid was Terminator 2. Just Terminator 2. And here's another thing for you, Tosh. You're saying that people have very high anxiety. They have very high anxiety, and you watch television, what do you see is a shitload of commercials for depression medication. Do you feel blah, blah, blah? Talk to your doctor about blah, 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 blah. So I just really believe that, call me tinfoil hat, call me whatever you want to call me. All these fucking people that are just trying to get you to take all these different pills and medications to do things. I got bumps popping up around my nose. I should wash my sheets before I try to go to bed. See if I start it now. I'll do that tomorrow. But now you see all these commercials on television about, oh, take this depression medication. Do you feel this way? Do you feel that way? And then basically, this is the thing. Your brain is like, that's good for you, Tasha, to stop watching TV. Okay, your brain is like, I don't know a lot about cars and motors, but I grew up around my stepdad, and all of his family were very good with cars and motors and things like that. So I remember when we would go to the racetrack. I did an episode with Brandon Elvis talking about the short track we used to go to in Florence. I remember sitting there till sometimes daylight after they would tear the motor down after the race, and there would be mechanics there that would take the entire motor apart. They would take the entire motor apart of this race truck to make sure that there was nothing illegal going on with it. That's what tearing down the motor after the race means. And And after they would do that, they would put everything back together, and it just cranked back up just like it normally did. And they were really good mechanics that were doing this thing. And I saw a lot of mechanics take apart a lot of motors and put them right back together, and they all worked fine afterwards. These pills that people are trying to get you to take are not mechanics. They're not putting things back where they're supposed to be. They're literally taking things from where they are and putting them elsewhere. And I feel personally, I've never been treated and never been to the doctor or diagnosed, but in doing a lot of reading and knowing my personality traits, I feel that I may have borderline like personality disorder, and I believe that I believe that I have touches of, I might have a touch of like a maybe bipolar or schizophrenia. I'm not saying that I do. I'm just saying that I'm very erratic sometimes, and sometimes I act like a completely different person than I actually am. And I don't know when that shows up, and I don't know that I can control when it shows up. But I know that I am unmedicated, and I have never sought out any kind of medication for this, just because I don't want to be reworked mentally. I had a girlfriend once who told me that I should think about going to a doctor and seeing somebody about my mood swings, just because like I have horrible mood swings, and I really have for a very long time. And she brought it up, and I was just like, I don't want to change anything about me, because I am who I am, and I want to remain that person. And because I have like trained, for lack of a better term, I've trained the people close to me to deal with who I am that way. And the people who I meet, I'm pretty upfront about this stuff in the beginning, of a friendship or a relationship. I'm very upfront with the fact that I'm a crazy person, and that you should expect that I'm a crazy person, and you should expect crazy person behavior from me. And if somebody can make it past that point, then there we've got a friend. But the sad part is I feel really bad about the people who I knew in my life before I had that realization about myself. The people who just witnessed all of this craziness, and I gave them no explanation for it. Like it's almost like I see this thing going around the internet a lot. It's like those people who knew me before I was an adult and knew better, I just want to apologize to you. And I seriously did. I've sent out a lot of emails and stuff, like to teachers and stuff, for apologizing for how shitty of a kid that I was, and just realizing that I just have this. It's literally like I have an evil twin that lives inside of my head, and it sneaks out sometimes, and it looks and acts just like me. So they think that it's me, but it's really, and I know this sounds like I'm a crazy person, but I am. I'm self-admitted crazy. I don't care. I think everybody's crazy. Nobody has it really figured out, and I think the people who are really crazy are just actually maybe really honest, and everybody else might just be much better at hiding things. But anyway, I totally went off on a tangent there. I was literally just talking about learning how to play guitar on the internet, and I don't know how I got to where I got, but every time I have this thought of this thing that's coming up, that's weighing on me, I feel worse and worse and worse about it. Exactly, Tasha. We're all crazy, just different kinds. So the situation that I'm in, I do this thing that is the right thing to do and is absolutely the right thing to do, that sets me back quite a good bit financially, though I'm already set back more than I need to be at this point in the year. This is the first, the second year actually. Last year I sort of like about halfway through the season started getting on top of my money and realizing I really need to start saving. I really need to start putting back for what I'm going to owe in taxes, because I'm self-employed and I'm going to owe a lot in taxes. And this is the second year in doing that, and just looking ahead, it's just gonna, I'm too far behind right now to successfully pull off something that I really need to pull off. And it's gonna take a miracle to do so. Now, I'm one that believes in miracles, and I believe that whatever this situation is going to work itself out, because that's what things do when you throw positive energy at it. But there's a lot of negative energy that's creeping into it right now, and I don't like it. And it's just stressing me out, and I don't know how to deal with it. In other news, if there's real magic in the world, I'm sure it has a lot to do with music and being able to manipulate sound. But even in music, there are magicians and there are wizards. If any of you have ever seen the movie The Prestige, featuring Sir Michael Caine, Hugh Jackman, and of course, Batman, Christian Bale. He says, and David Bowie actually as Nikola Tesla. Good advice, Tasha. Let it come, then let it go. Go back after to focus on the positive. That's right. So, in this movie, Hugh Jackman's character is wildly jealous of Christian Bale's character. So he consults Nikola Tesla to build a machine that does something otherworldly. And if you haven't seen the movie, I'd rather not spoil it for you. That's exactly what I'm trying to do, Tasha, is purge the negative. Be positive. Positive energy. You got it. Enjoy it. You familiar with Stephen Brody Stevens there, Tasha? Positive energy. You got it. Enjoy it. Yes. But this machine that Nikola Tesla built, Hugh Jackman's character, was supposed to do something that is impossible in this world. So and I use this analogy a lot. He's what the rest of us claim to be. About a true musician. Stephen Brody Stevens. Poor Stephen. He actually... I'm not going to go down the story of Brody because it's just too sad. But you should Google Brody Stevens. Was a fantastic comedian. Actually, I'll take a side note a second to talk about Brody for just a second. I've got Kill Tony 33 paused right here. I started watching it at episode 1 after I saw a few episodes and realized this is the greatest shit I've ever seen, and I want to watch it from the beginning. Started at episode 1, now I'm on episode number 33. I've seen Brody on 3 episodes so far, and I just relate to him so much that just he was so passionate about his art that he wanted everybody that he saw that he came across to know how passionate he was about his art, and he wanted to share his knowledge of his art with them. And I feel that on a spiritual level. Like, I really want to share what I know about music with other people, whether they want to know it or not. I just want to share what I know with them, because I want to share that information. And I get really offended when people don't take that information. You know, I get really offended when they don't receive that information that I'm trying to pass on to them. So, getting back to the machine. Someone asks Sir Michael Caine's character, what about this machine? Said, well, all of these machines in this room were built by magicians or engineers. This was built by a wizard. And he's like, a wizard? He's like, no, this was, or he said, he didn't say wizard first. He said, I suggest that you do not let your client purchase this particular machine. He's like, it's just built by a magician, right? He says, all of the others were built by a magician. This was built by what a magician tries to be. This was built by a wizard. There's a difference in a magician and a wizard. A magician knows how to fool a crowd into believing that they have actually done something magical. But a wizard can actually create magic. The magician's always got a card up their sleeve. The magician's always got props. The magician can do magic, they can do tricks with the tools that they have brought, with the tools that they provide themselves. But it takes a wizard to be able to pull something from thin air. At this point, being a magician's not enough for me. I want to be a wizard. So yes, pulling positivity from the world, throwing positivity at a situation means that it's going to create the most convenient outcome for all involved, I believe. Throwing positivity at this thing, man. I'm doing it. I'm trying. Brody's thing was stay positive, be positive. Stay positive. Yes. Comedy is so good. I want to do that one day. I want to have the balls big enough to stand on stage without a guitar. I always had something to hide behind. I always had the guitar. I saw a comedian, the first comic that ever got up on Kill Tony a few episodes back with a guitar, and they kind of roasted him for having a guitar because he played a song. I wonder what they would do if I just, like a comfort guitar, like this is my security guitar. Like I need this. This is like my shit. If you can have like a, what is it? Your seeing eye alligator or whatever the fuck people try to bring on airplanes. Your service animal. Like, this is my service guitar. I wonder if I'll get away with that. It's like in Big Daddy when the kid had to wear his sunglasses so they couldn't see him. That's what the guitar is like. And I know that because I play music, and here in the last few months, I've been toying around with it. Like, half of my solo gig has become just half. I just kind of like, I've been doing half music and half talking to the crowd, and I noticed that just in doing a lot of my talking to the crowd, if I'm honest and just talk about things that's going on, like I get a lot of laughs. Like I played at Brass Tap the other night, and there were a couple of bits that I had that just killed. That went really well. Like looking around the room, there were like, I think I got like 80% laughs in the entire room. Right? That's what I mean. Like, I just feel comfortable. I feel comfortable having it here. Just, I don't know why I don't do this more often. Like, and I do this too in the gigs as well. Like, I'll do this like Sean Mullins did this thing. You guys, you remember Sean Mullins, Tasha? Sean Mullins, he did that song, everything's gonna be alright, rockabye. He did this thing where he'd go, well, I met him on the cliffs of Twin Rocks, Oregon. He was sitting on a rollback looking just like Richard Brodigan. Looked like me, like he had died and missed the plane to heaven. He said something like he would just tell the story, and he said that he would be playing in like these coffee shops back in the 90s when it was like a little crowded, and the drone of the crowd talking over his music started bothering him. So he started talking to the people so they would listen, because they were more apt to listen to him talk than they were to listen to him sing for some reason. So he would rope them in with this beautiful story about this old man sitting on the back of a rollback truck, drinking a bottle of liquor or something in Twin Rocks, Oregon. And then he'd go, he said, I came here to watch the sun disappear into the ocean, 'cause it's been years since I've smelled a salty sea. And he turned his bottle up and down. I saw him lost and I saw him found. And then he said, I'm just waiting on someone here, maybe me. And like he would go back into the story and just speak to him while he was doing this thing. Like, I think it was very similar to this thing that I'm playing right now. It could be this, but it was just beautiful. And I remember just how powerful it was, just to think that he could turn an entire room of a bunch of people having all their own conversations at their table to just all eyes on him, and he just took control of his room. And that's amazing, and I use that a lot. Like if I'm dealing with a crowd, that doesn't really respond too well to what I'm playing, there's always TVs going in just about every bar that I'm in, and I'll see something on TV and I'll usually make a comment on it. I'm really good at that situational humor, by the way, like something on TV or something like that, and I'm really good at making jokes about stuff on TV, and like something like I'll get a laugh from, say, one table, and I'll kind of look at this table, see how they're dressed, and see how they present themselves, and try to guess what kind of people they are, and then just sort of go down that road of who I think they are. And if I get it right, then they keep laughing, and that laughter spreads. Laughter is contagious. If one person starts laughing, somebody else is going to be curious about what they're laughing at, and they're going to start paying attention. And believe it or not, the more people that start laughing, other people are going to laugh just because other people are laughing, just because that it happens. It's almost like a laugh track in a TV show that tells you where you're supposed to laugh, and you laugh just because they tell you to, almost. But man, that whole little back and forth thing there, where it just, that captivating tone, I guess it's because there's music going on, and usually with music there's lyrics that people pay attention to, maybe. So maybe as they just pay attention to it more because there's music there and they're used to paying attention to the words. But then again, I feel like people don't pay attention to the words as much as they should. Lyrics are so damn important. He said, I came here to watch the sun disappear into the ocean, 'cause it's been years, and he turned his bottle up and down, and he saw me lost and he saw me found. He said, I've been waiting for someone here, maybe me. Damn, Sean Mullins was good. It does. It answers all the questions. It fills the gaps. Shit, I don't know, I just wish I could get to the point where I don't let these silly stresses bother me out. I know that everything will work itself out, and it always does, and I know no matter what. I think so too. Very relaxing, right? That's what I put into it. Like, I really like the relaxing style. Like, the finger picking style is very relaxing. It's like, I heard Townes Van Zandt talking, and Townes Van Zandt is the guy who wrote Poncho and Lefty. You ever heard that song, Poncho and Lefty, Tasha? Willie Nelson and Merle Haggard recorded it. It's an old country song. But the guy who wrote it, Townes Van Zandt, is an old Texas troubadour that ended up moving up to Colorado, and every year he would take his horse. It's fabled. This is probably didn't really happen. It's legend that he would ride his horse from Colorado to Texas and just camping, like just ride his horse from Colorado to Texas, just like they used to do it. But he had this thing he used banjo picks. He would use like banjo picks so he could. He said he would like play the. I'm not much into country now, Tasha. I was when I was younger, and I really liked that era of country back, like the early 90s country back. That was really good stuff. But he had this style of finger picking where he said he would sort of tell a story. He would tell a story without having to speak, you know? Like, this sounds like it tells a story, right? Living on the road, my friend, was gonna keep us free and clean. Now you wear your skin like iron and your breath's as hard as kerosene. You weren't your mama's only boy, but her favorite one it seems. And she began to cry when you said goodbye. And sink into your dreams. Pancho was a bandit, boys. His horse as fast as polished steel. He wore his gun outside his pants for all the honest world to feel. Pancho met his match, you know, on the deserts down in Mexico, and nobody heard his dying words. Yes, that's the way it goes. All the federales say they could have had him any day. They just let him slip away. Out of kindness, I suppose. Now Lefty, he can't sing the blues all night long like he used to. The dust that Pancho bit down south ended up in Lefty's mouth. The day they laid poor Pancho low, Lord, Lefty split for Ohio, where he got the bread to go. Lord, there ain't nobody knows. All the federales say they could have had him any day. They only let him go so wrong. Out of kindness, I suppose. Poets tell how Pancho fell. Now Lefty's living in a cheap hotel. Desert's quiet and Cleveland's cold. So the story ends, we're told. But Pancho needs your prayers, it's true. But save a few for Lefty too. 'Cause he just did what he had to do. Now he's growing old. All the federales say they could have had him any day. They just let him slip away. Out of kindness, I suppose. A few brave federales say they could have had him any day. They just let him slip away. Out of kindness, I suppose. That's Pancho and Lefty. Townes Van Zandt is in my top 3 greatest songwriters of all time list. Bob Dylan's not on that list, actually. I got Hank Williams Sr., Townes Van Zandt, and believe it or not, a gentleman by the name of Jason Isbell, who is still alive. But just, and I heard that song and I couldn't not play it because I love it. But just that whole little walking, like it sounds like a nice stroll, like. It just sounds like a little walking beat. Like it's just so musically sound. It's so beautifully written. It's so beautifully written that it's one of those things that you don't want to do unless you do it perfectly. Not to say that I do it perfectly because I don't, but just I really fell in love with that whole little not letting a piece of plastic get in between you and your instrument. Like I really, really like that. There was a time when I didn't use a pick. If you guys look closely here at the guitar, you can see around the sound hole there, like it's all worn down. And for most of this wearing down that I did here, most of this wearing down I did around the sound hole, I did it without a pick. You know, I did it with just playing on my fingers. Because like when I would come down, I would always hit my finger right here, and it would just, after years of doing, and of course strumming, I'll end up hitting there too with a pick, but just not having a piece of plastic in between this and my instrument is a magical thing. Almost heaven, West Virginia, Blue Ridge Mountains and the Shenandoah River. Life is old there, older than the trees, younger than the mountains that's flowing like the breeze. Country roads take me home to the place where I belong, West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home, country roads. All my memories gather round her, miner's lady and a stranger to blue water, dark and dusty, painted on the skies, misty taste of moonshine and a teardrop from my eyes. Country roads take me home to the place where I belong, West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home, country roads. I hear her voice in the morning hour, she calls me. The radio reminds me of my home, still far away. The feeling that I should have went back home yesterday. Country roads take me home to the place where I belong, West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home, country roads, West Virginia, Mountain Mama, Take me home, country roads. There you go, Tasha. Since you hung out with me all night here, I'm gonna get out of here. Appreciate you hanging out with me, Tasha. Thank you for being there. I kind of just needed to get stressed out. Just stressed out over dollars. I'm stressed out over money, and it's like being a musician. My money shows up in the summer months, and it's just now spring break here, so like it's right at the beginning of the season, and in a couple of weeks it's not going to be a problem at all. It's not going to be an issue, and I'm just going to be looking back at this time thinking about how foolish it was of me to be worried about such a stupid thing at such a stupid time. But right now it's just really stressing me out, and just financial stress leads to something that feels like depression, but I don't want to call it that because this is not near as bad as I have felt in the past with depression, so this could just be a small case of it. But was just tired, and I even smoked a decent amount of pot, and I was just not feeling much better. But thank you so much, Tasha. Gotta let it go. That's right. Appreciate you for hanging out with me. Your energy meant a lot. So thank you for that. I'm gonna leave this video posted too. I usually delete these little things when I come in here and just whine, but I'm gonna leave this one because I've noodled around the guitar a pretty good bit, and I don't really show that side of me a lot in here. I usually just talk. So anyway, appreciate you being here, Tasha. Anybody who watches this later in the future, anybody who ever sees this, be a good person, and I love you. Whoever you are, I love you, and you the world is better with you in it. Speaking of which, the world is better with you in it. Go look up Brody Stevens. Go look up Brody Stevens. Stay positive. Brody Stevens is a hell of a comedian. Enjoy it. Yes, you got it. Good night, Tasha. Thank you for hanging out with me again. I'll see you later, guys. Love you. Mean it. Peace.